Welcome to the biggest house in football and Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. In Ann Arbor, Michigan, a warm and breezy evening, but storms are in the forecast. 110th meeting between the Michigan State Spartans and the Michigan Wolverines, the first ever played under the prime time lights. Just the fourth night game in Michigan Stadium history, and there is a rare energy for this rivalry game in here tonight. Welcome aboard. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor will join us. The battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy, a rich history of bone-rattling hits and overflowing emotions and heroics. This is a legacy game, right? You make a play like Jalen Watts-Jackson did here a couple of years ago, scoop up the punt, you live forever in this rivalry.
That's what rivalries are really about. Miami, Florida State had a moment like that earlier today with an incredible finish, and we hope to have a similar finish here tonight in Ann Arbor. But you're right, Chris, when Michigan and Michigan State get together, you can talk about a lack of respect from East Lansing. You can also talk about how well they played in recent years, which creates a little bit more energy and buzz in the air tonight.
Two strong defense is a challenge for both quarterbacks. At Michigan, Wilton Speight is out, probably for the season. He has 3 fractured vertebrae, he told us. So John O'Corn, the veteran, comes in. This is his 3rd start in 3 years, but he's played a lot of football.
Yeah, you go all the way back to 2013 when he was the freshman player of the year in the AAC at Houston and did a really good job. And I thought he'd stepped in very, very well against Purdue. It's a pivotal play. They're down 10-7. That looks like a sack, right? This is what he brings to the table. Ability to scramble, keep a play alive. This is what he told us. I'm doing a better job with my eyes downfield when I do scramble. But look at the toughness that he brings. I think his team feeds off of this energy and what he can do when he gets outside of the pocket. And then the red zone efficiency. Let's face it, Chris, this has been a kind of an issue for them. Last time they played against Purdue, when they got into the red zone with O'Corn, 3 for 3, all 3 times touchdowns. And in a game like this, where weather could potentially be an issue, 2 great defenses, you've got to capitalize on those red zone opportunities.
Yeah, the Michigan State defense, a lot of new faces. Remember, this was a 3-9 football team a year ago. But one of those new faces is Joe Bacci, the middle linebacker, who does not play like a sophomore, a natural leader out there.
I just love Mark D'Antonio's defensive style. Last year, they were 3-9. Really took a step back. This year, they look like Mark D'Antonio defense, and Joe Bacci, number 35, is right in the middle of it. Look at the eye black. He is ready to go. Kind of represents that Michigan State defense, playing with a chip on your shoulder, coming into the big house, not being intimidated. Their defense will have to step up big tonight, obviously, to be able to pull off an upset.
Only allowed 1 touchdown pass so far this season. Now for the other subplot. Check out this wall of thunderstorms in the left part of your screen moving toward Ann Arbor. That looks ugly, and they say it could arrive about 10 o'clock Eastern time, which would put it in the 4th quarter. Many of the Michigan Wolverines will tell you this is living a dream, running out, leaping for the banner, and entering the big house in a rivalry game like this. They are mindful of the fact that their rivals from East Lansing have beaten them 7 of the last 9 times. Can the favored Wolverines turn the tables tonight in just the 4th night game in the great history of Michigan Stadium? Early October test for the Wolverines and the Spartans. It's been a spectacular tailgating day. Temperature still an unseasonably warm 77 degrees, but you see that bottom line. Forecast rain, including potential for thunderstorms about 10 o'clock. So about 2.5 hours from now, could hit at around the 4th quarter. A rare energy, Kirk, in this place. Again, only the 4th night game ever. This is not known as being the loudest house in the sport, but it feels different at night, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. I had an opportunity to call one of their night games when they played Notre Dame, and it was a special night.
The first one, I think, right?
Yeah, first one.
Michigan gets football first. The Spartans won the toss and deferred, so they'll kick off, and look who's expected out there. Jalen Watts-Jackson, who's had a shoulder off-season injury, playing some special teams. He is the man that made that play, scooping up the fumble punt, ran down in this left corner of the end zone. There he is out there.
Think about the last time he was on this field. What's going through his mind right now?
Really, just about any field, right? He's been injured, fractured his hip on that play. Ambry Thomas, the young Wolverines, back to receive the kickoff. And James Fogg is pumped up. He's got the wind at his back. Doesn't normally reach the end zone, but it is a touchback. And here comes John O'Korn. Kirk, and you alluded to his history beginning at Houston, where he was a 3,000-yard passer as a true freshman. Lost his job to Greg Ward in his sophomore season, and then looked for greener pastures.
Yeah, incredible to think to go 1 year rookie of the year in the entire conference, and next year you're benched. Decided to transfer. Looked at Florida. Ended up, once Jim Harbaugh was hired, came to Ann Arbor. Sat last year behind Wilton Spate. Had one start against Indiana. But that's just a different feel. I thought the way he played in the Purdue game, we'll see if he can continue tonight. But I thought he was in command of the offense. Clearly prepared himself to be ready to play that night.
They fake it to Higdon, a first down throw, and it's incomplete. Just out of the reach of Khalid Hill, the fullback. He's the Chick-fil-A Impact players.
O'Korn has a lot of playmakers around him. Very familiar with these guys because of the work in practice. Grant Perry on the outside, 88, leads these receivers. Zach Gentry is 6'7" as a tight end. They'll try to get the ball to him. We mentioned Joe Bocci. And look out for Josiah Scott. He's a true freshman, number 22. Going to have to hold up in man-to-man coverage.
The second down run. This is Higdon bursting up the middle for about 7 yards. We'll see Higdon, Ty Isaac, and Chris Evans rotate a tailback.
It's going to be a war in the trenches. I mean, Michigan likes to establish the run with Jim Harbaugh, and Michigan State prides themselves on stopping the run. Their defensive line will slant and angle, try to occupy those linemen to allow those linebackers to come downhill and make a lot of plays.
Third down has been a struggle somewhat for the Wolverines. Converting just 35%. They need 4.
Their tight ends always come into play in these third down situations.
Higdon motions out, and now O'Korn to the shotgun. Spartans rush 4. O'Korn has time and delivers into a tight window, and it's complete to Grant Perry, who's out near midfield. Accurate throw.
That really good throw, nice timing. Perry is a good third down option as well. I like how they have Crawford in front of him, and he just gives a little hesitation, a little outside move. There's Scott, who we just kind of highlighted. How will the true freshman play in this setting? That time, Perry gets the best of him. Remember, Michigan State plays a lot of quarters coverage, which ends up becoming man-to-man. So those corners are asked to hold up a lot in one-on-one situations.
They get 19 on 3rd and 4. Chris Evans checks in a tailback. He's got the pitch. Cuts it back and runs to about the 45 for a nice first down gain. Justin Lane, the corner, stopped him.
It's a good look at Michigan offensive line. Take Wilton Spate out of this offense, and this is a very young Michigan team coming into this year. Mason Cole, a guy to watch, 52. He started his first 2 years at left tackle. Last year he was a starter at center, and now he's moved back out to the left tackle spot, really the anchor and the leader of that group.
He's one of the captains for the Wolverines, number 52. 2nd and 5, Evans again. In the clear. Couple of nice runs from Chris Evans, and the Wolverines are marching another first down.
Boy, they play 3 tailbacks, but Chris Evans has such vision. And Andrew Down, number 5, will come from his right. Watch his jump cut. Right? He just kind of feels him. Perry's making a block, but that jump cut right there gives him that extra yards. Instead of giving up on the play, picks up another 5 yards.
10th play of the drive. Higdon motions out. And O'Korn flips it over the middle. Short completion. They'll use a variety of tight ends. That's Ian Bunting with his first catch of the season.
Well, when you blitz your linebackers the way Michigan State does, these safeties have got to come down and be able to pick up those quick throws behind that blitz. Right there's a nice play by Willis, who anticipated that the ball might come out, but still, Michigan on a first down pass able to pick up positive yards of 6 yards.
Anybody in the world have more tight ends on the roster than Harbaugh does?
Yeah, they have some good looking ones too. Only being here a couple of years.
You mentioned Gentry, number 83. And off to Higdon. He runs through an arm tackle briefly and gets within a yard of the first down marker, third down.
Yeah, that's the beauty of being able to rotate. Evans, who's taken a majority of the snaps here in this first drive. Isaac we saw once, and now here comes Higdon. Michigan doesn't have the premier back, that Tyrone Wheatley, that Leroy Horde that they've had in the past. They eventually will with the way Jim Harbaugh and his staff are going to recruit. But right now, it's being able to mix guys in and keep them fresh for 4 quarters.
Michigan team comes out off the timeout with a 3rd and 1. It's the fullback, Khalid Hill, the guy who was the touchdown machine a year ago from short range, who moves the 6 again.
I love the big fellas. 6'2", 265 pounds. And if it's short yardage or they get inside that 2-yard line, you know number 80 has a very good chance of getting his hands on the ball. You know, he was a tight end who they ended up moving. And back in 2015, they moved him back to fullback and really could have probably come out last year, gone to the NFL.
He was the touchdown maker last year. He hadn't really had a chance down in close. We talked about the struggles in the red zone. Wolverines are right back in there now. Evans tests the middle for a short game.
We talked about how they had struggled in the red zone until O'Korn went in against Purdue, and 3 attempts in that red zone and 3 touchdowns. And now there's a reason for that. He gives you a little bit more mobility. It opens up the playbook. I think with Wilton Spate, it was run the football, and they were struggling with their blocking in this area. Teams were collapsing down on that run game, and they weren't able to execute in the past. And I think with O'Korn, it gives you a little bit more chance to move around and take advantage of his athletic ability.
They broke it open late against Purdue. He had a touchdown pass to Gentry. They had 2 red zone touchdown runs. Empty backfield. O'Korn lobs it to the end zone. Battle for the ball. That was Sean McHugh, the tight end, and well covered. They'll use the tight ends in all sorts of routes.
Oh, yeah, and they'll put 3 or 4 of them up there. It's pretty good coverage. See, McHugh's actually reaching just at the end, but Michigan State with very, very good coverage by Justin Lane there.
But a corner on a tight end.
This is where Michigan State has done a very, very good job in improving their 3rd down defense from last year to this year. They're number 12 coming in. They give you a lot of different looks to try to confuse the offensive line and the quarterback.
15th play of this opening drive. They need 7. O'Korn looking left, lob to the end zone, and no chance to make a play. That was Eddie McDoom, and covered well by Josiah Scott, the freshman. Here comes a field goal.
Yeah, Josiah Scott with the speedster. Eddie McDoom, one-on-one. Remember, he's thinking of live on an island. Great technique, has the left arm, gets his head turned around there. Nice job by the freshman to be out there on an island.
Yeah, for the tuba player over there.
Tight quarters, right?
Quinn Nordine has been very busy. 11 of 13. He's made his last 7 since missing a couple late in the opening win over Florida. He can make it from 65. This is just from 30. He's going to kick for a long time on Sundays. Extreme power in that leg. Wolverines shoe clock and draw first blood in the big house. It's a wonderful event last night. About 30 students from Michigan and Michigan State teaming up with Special Olympics Michigan athletes. Flag football, the 3rd annual Special Olympics Unified Sports Rivalry Series. Wolverines won at 26-20, Kirk. Maybe a little more scoring than we might see tonight.
It could be.
Decidedly non-flag football. What a drive for the Wolverines. 16 plays. That's Harbaugh style. Almost 7 minutes to take the lead. Although it was a stall in the red zone yet again.
That's right.
Scanlon, the lefty senior, to boot it away. And he drives it. Andre Welch will take a knee. Here comes Brian Lewerke, the sophomore from Phoenix. Maria.
Well, you're right, Chris, and Brian Lewerke, he's a display of that youth that Michigan State is certainly relying on this season. Brian said coming into the year, he had to speak to Kirk Cousins because their careers were very similar at Michigan State. Both had to become captains and leaders and starters in their sophomore season after only having played a handful of games as freshmen. He said that basically Kirk Cousins told him that he has to start developing relationships on and off the field in order to be a great leader. But here tonight, he wants to display good pocket presence and also show that he's very, very determined with the football.
It's tough, Maria. You saw that he also leads the team in rushing. He's averaging 6.5 yards per carry. Gerald Holmes is the back. And Spartans' first play of the night. Lewerke from the pocket. Lofts it downfield and over the head of his top target on the young season so far, Felton Davis III.
Love the call by Dave Warner, the offensive coordinator. Felton Davis coming off a huge game last week against Iowa. By far his best game of the year. 9 receptions, couple scores. And he's 6'4", 195 pounds. As much as Michigan will play man, there's an advantage there with his height. First play out, they let Lewerke throw downfield. Something else about Brian Lewerke is he's going to have to run the football. It's the first dual threat type of quarterback that Mark D'Antonio has had since he's been the head coach.
Wolverines crowd the line, and this has just not worked for anybody all year long. You simply have not been able to run between the tackles against Michigan.
No, Don Brown's system doesn't allow you to run between the tackles. They attack the gaps. They leave their corners, again, much like Michigan State. They're going to leave him out there. There's Don Brown, one of the top defensive coordinators in the game. And when you sit down and talk to him, you learn pretty quickly about his style, because the way he talks to us is how he talks to his players, and players love to play for Don Brown because the corners are left on islands and the other 9 guys take care of the run game.
Here comes the noise on 3rd and 10. Spartans have actually been a very efficient 3rd and long team so far, but this is not a typical game against a typical defense. Lewerke has good protection, throws it up, incomplete. It was off the hands of Darryl Stewart. 4th down, a 3 and out. Josh Metellus, the safety, in close coverage.
I tell you, it's pretty impressive in his first series by Lewerke. Look at this pressure from Michigan. Great job by Michigan State's offensive line picking it up, but be careful throwing it late over the middle. Ball is tipped by the corner, and almost you throw it a little bit higher and gives the safety enough time to come over and pick that off.
I loved your clinic the other day with Don Brown. You were playing the receiver. He was playing the DB, and he was schooling us all on how they're taught to break up passes, get their eyes around. It's a great example right there.
Exactly right.
So Jake Hartbarger is an excellent punter, and the electric freshman Donovan Peoples-Jones, number 9, back deep for the Wolverines. It's a very low kick. Peoples-Jones will back off, and it takes a nice Spartan roll down inside the 30-yard line. So the Wolverines go 16 plays and take the lead. Spartans go 3 and out.
How will Michigan State's defense react after that 16-play drive where they're out there for a long time? Their own offense goes 3 and out, and they're right back out there to try to defend this offense.
Wolverines ran the ball 10 times in the opening drive, and here comes the reverse. Breaking free is Peoples-Jones. Very shifty true freshman. They actually do a good job to keep it to just a 6-yard gain. Willis on the tackle.
Thought he might get to the outside, but the defensive end, the former walk-on Willekris, doesn't let him get out there, forces him back in, which gave Willis a chance to chase it down. But just a few little wrinkles, and that's what Jim Harbaugh will do to you. Pep Hamilton helping him out call plays, Tim Trebno. They do a good job of mixing up their formations, give you so much to have to digest as a defense.
So many personnel groups.
Yes.
There's a 2nd down handoff. And Evans will move the sticks yet again. Maria?
Chris, when you watch John O'Corn on the sideline or in the huddle, you notice that he has the same demeanor at all times, despite the fact that he's making his first start. Running back Ty Isaac said it's a calming and steadying factor that he has. Confidence, whether he throws an interception or has a nice touchdown drive, and that's the kind of voice and demeanor that they need in the huddle right now.
He prepared as though he were the starter. Even with Spates back up, you hear coaches say that all the time, but with O'Corn, you believe it.
Well, there's evidence in the way he played against Purdue.
That's when he had to come in relief. This, of course, was his 2nd start as a Wolverine as Ty Isaac takes it, loses the football. Ball is out. Spartans are pointing their direction. And they have it. So Isaac is stripped, and exactly the kind of break that the Spartans offense needed.
Joe Bocci, who we talked a lot about here early in this broadcast, the playmaker, comes up with his hands on that football and rips it out of Ty Isaac's arms. Watch Bocci right there. He gets his right hand on it, rips it to football. It's out, and it looks like Chris Fry jumps on top of it. So the 2 linebackers active here on this play. It's a good play for Michigan. Isaac just doesn't take care of the ball, and Michigan State comes up with a big turnover, something that's kind of been a bit of a bugaboo for the Spartans early in the year, especially in the Notre Dame game.
Michigan State's 5th takeaway of the year. That's it. They've been emphasizing the need to come up with plays like that, and Michigan's backs continue to have fumble problems early this season.
I love the play action call in the first series. They only had 3 plays. They went back to a run. It's going to be tough to run in the middle of that Michigan defense. You're going to have to try to get the ball out on the perimeter, but early down play action will be a part of how Michigan State has to move the ball tonight.
Harold Holmes lined up very deep. Stewart comes in motion. Holmes cuts it back. This is an incredible stat. They do it through the first 4 games. Opponents have run it between the tackles 58 times. They have netted a total of 5 yards.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Which, with that being said, that was a great gain of 3.
Yeah, exactly. More than double between the tackle output all season long by Michigan opponents.
You've got to get on the perimeter. And again, you want to show that you're going to try, but you're going to have more success on jet sweeps, quarterback runs, anything to the outside, and then taking some shots downfield.
You saw Ryan Monet and Maurice Hurst, the anchors of that defensive line. Holmes again hesitates and bursts through the middle, and the Spartans do come up with a productive middle run and push the pile inside the 30. Brian Allen, that senior center, made a nice block.
Yeah, watch Brian Allen pull. He's going to come around and pick up the defensive end. Winovich, watch this right here. Boom, picks that block up, stays on it. He sustained his block because it looked like Winovich would eventually get off of it, but he doesn't. And there's some good, tough running from Jabrill Holmes. Spartans saying, heck with that. We're going to run up the middle. We don't care about those numbers.
Tristan Jackson, the receiver, an aggressive block, as well as the fullback Colin Lucas. 15-yard gain. Wolverines bring some pressure. Lewerke back on first down, running out of time, but shows the wheels and scoots inside the 20. Mike McCray chased him out, but he is a true dual threat.
Yeah, Mike McCray has got to be able to account for him right here. Lewerke, we talked about, is a dual guy. He can do this. When you play man-to-man, defensive backs are out there. They're occupied with the receivers. McCray late in getting over, and Lewerke, who's a dangerous threat tonight for this Michigan defense, and running the ball, picks up 9.
Brian told me I don't look fast because I'm a long strider, but I might not clock that fast. When guys are chasing me, he says, I'm football fast. Lewerke running out of time. Again, escapes and heads toward the end zone. Diving! Touchdown, Spartans! It is a different look when you see Michigan State with a quarterback who can run like that.
Absolutely. Devin Bush moved out of the box area, Chris. He is now out here, and it just leaves one linebacker, and that's Mike McCray. We just talked about how Lewerke brings this, and you got to be ready to account for him. McCray gets caught up in coverage and man-to-man, and Lewerke is able to outrun the rest of the defense. The progressive pylon cam, a great view to see him extend across and get into the end zone.
Lewerke is the holder for Matt Coughlin, who knocks it through. So the Spartans rip the ball away, take over in plus territory, and drive it 46 yards in 6 plays in less than 3 minutes to claim the lead here. Look at this rivalry meeting number 110, again the first in prime time. Mark D'Antonio, he's 7-3 against Michigan. Wendy's bringing you this rivalry matchup, and over the years 6 times Michigan State has come in here and won in the big house against a top 10 Wolverines team. Avery Thomas is the deep man. There's Scanlon boots it. And Thomas is going to bring it out. Excellent coverage as the Spartans fly down there and tackle him at the 14-yard line. So the Spartans, with the fumble recovery and the short touchdown drive, leave it 7-3 after the first quarter. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. So the fumble forced by Joe Bacci, recovered by Chris Fry, turning around momentum in that first quarter. Spartans cashed it in with a Lewerke touchdown run. O'Korn delivers complete, far side, knocked down after a short gain is McCune, the sophomore tight end. It's a receiving corps that lost Amara Darbo, Jehu Chesson, Jake Butt. Between them, Kirk, 138 catches and 1,900 yards. So a bunch of young guys are using tight ends. They've got freshman receivers with some Peoples Jones, but they also lost Tariq Black with a broken foot, the Super Frost in the Air Force game.
Yeah, it is a group right now that I think is starting to emerge after 4 or 5 weeks of the season, but they're awfully young.
Corn on the delay. Harassed, rolls, and delivers complete across the middle. And that's one of the veterans in there, Grant Perry.
And that's what John O'Corn can do with his mobility. It's a great job. Look at Michigan State get in there. Look how quickly they're in there. And instead of just taking off and running, this is the area that he feels that he's improved the most. The poise and the vision downfield to eventually find Grant Perry and make that accurate throw. We saw that in the Purdue game when he came in for Spate, and there's another example of it there.
12-yard gain to the guy who's been the clutch target. Typically, Perry is the one they've looked for on third down. They fake it to Evans. O'Corn flips over the middle. And a hard hit and a short gain there on Maurice Ways. He makes his second catch of the season. Dowell, that linebacker right there.
Well, Dowell's making a lot of plays. He looked like he was in man-to-man, and I think O'Corn got excited thinking that he had a chance with Ways to maybe pull away from the younger freshman Scott, but Dowell was not in man-to-man. He came off his guy and made a big play there.
You've seen Dowell make plays. Bocce forced that fumble. Fry recovered it. Three excellent linebackers, all from the state of Ohio in the Spartan defense. 2nd and 7. Corn lobs it, and no flag. The Wolverines wanted one as Donovan Peoples-Jones was blanketed by Justin Lane.
And Justin Lane got in there a little bit too early. Peoples-Jones went by him, and in trying to catch up with him, he gets his arm involved in trying to grab under the jersey. Probably a good no call, but there was just a little bit of contact.
Quite
they
enough.
They let that go.
Let's see what the option is now on 3rd and 7 as the Wolverines try to keep this drive going. Spartans bring late pressure. O'Corn has to scramble and delivers incomplete. He was hit after the throw. McCune was the intended receiver, but Fry, that inked-up backer, came on the blitz.
Again, we keep talking about how well Michigan State is doing this. The pressure from here and here. He looks like he's coming. He ends up dropping. So, again, confusing this Michigan offensive line. They slid everybody to the left, thinking the pressure was from the left, from the field. And at the snap, everybody dropped from the left, and they ended up blitzing from the right. Fooled the offensive line and John O'Corn.
All 5 plays in that series passes. And here is Brad Robbins, this time with the wind at his back to punt. Gets it up high and gets it in the jet stream. And ball bounces just in front of Laurice Nelson there. So Brian Lewerke back to work as State takes over up 4.
Fun to look back at some of those photos. Remember some of those players and the big plays they made for their schools.
Percy Snow, huh? Wow.
Oh, yeah. What a linebacker. Oh, man.
Madre London, the junior from Little Rock, Arkansas, now tailed out for the first time tonight as the wind kicks up. Lewerke from the pocket is chased and has to deliver short, and it's a diving attempt. They give a catch to Felton Davis, who came back nicely for that one right near the marker.
Lewerke, as he's rolling out, he ends up looking back to his left, and then at the last second just kind of flips it out to Felton Davis.
Take another look at this.
But watch Lewerke. He's kind of looking. He's like, whoa, here comes a guy. He just flips it out there, and nice job by Felton Davis getting his arms underneath to be able to make that catch.
You're right. Terrific job. Wobbly throw, and he did control it before he hit the ground. 2nd and 1. They feed London, who picks his way for a short gain with the 6. And the end around it, Stewart. Wolverines sniff it out, string it out, and drop him for a loss. Brandon Watson made the play, Kirk, as we continue to track this storm coming this way.
Right here.
It's not good when it's dark orange and red and yellow, is it?
No, not at all. And what are they saying? Around 10 o'clock tonight?
At 10 o'clock, so an hour and 20 minutes from now. You want to have the lead, perhaps, when that weather arrives. It would be nice.
They said if lightning strikes within, is it 10 miles?
Yes.
They'll stop the game for 30 minutes.
Lewerke looks to the left, and as a man, he completes it to Hunter Rison, the freshman. Yes, tremendous bloodline, son of Andre Rison, the former All-American here.
And a rare soft coverage from Don Brown's defense, and Hunter Rison draws Mike McCray, a linebacker, on him one-on-one. He'll take that matchup.
He's quick, not blazing fast, but his dad, a 5-time Pro Bowler, looking in tonight. Sets up a 3rd and 3. Lewerke looking to throw for it, and he's got it. And he moved the sticks again as Sokol makes the catch.
Well, watch Lewerke's head look to his right, and he thinks he's going to go to Darryl Stewart, then comes right back, and it ends up finding Matt Sokol. Good look at his eyes here. Looks right. He thinks he has Stewart. Well, that's tremendous poise for a young guy on the road, and gets the defense where he wants him, and then comes back. Doesn't panic. Doesn't start to run out of there. Just sits in there, trusts his line, and makes a good throw.
Rushing there in the first down, and a downfield throw. Leaping catch made by Stewart. He went up and won the battle against Watson.
And it was a battle because Watson's their most physical corner, and he's at 5'11", 200 pounds. Watch this battle as these two go head-to-head. A little hesitation, pushes him out of bounds, and then it's about high pointing the ball, and he makes a heck of a catch.
After a 30-yard gain, Spartans use some tempo. This is London hammering on the left side, so not something you see a whole lot from Michigan State, but tactical here.
You don't know if that was just hurry up because let's get the tempo going, or were they concerned about the call? Maybe did he go out of bounds on his own, or did he get forced out of bounds? It looked like he got forced out of bounds, but it was rare to see them hit a big play and then immediately come up to the line of scrimmage. But they're in attack mode right now.
They sure are.
Michigan State has come into the big house, and they're not just, hey, let's hang around. They're in here trying to take swings at Michigan.
And they're landing.
They are.
Keeper, Lewerke, able to dive for the first down at the 16-yard line. Noah Bush forced him out.
Another wrinkle you're not used to seeing from Michigan State. This is zone read. Winovich collapses down on London, and he pulls it out. The hesitation there was just on the read. He's trying to make sure that Winovich was going to come down on Montre London, and once he did, pulls it out, gets to the corner. Connor Cook would run that occasionally, but not as quick and explosive as what we can see from Lewerke.
Not by a lot.
No, it's a different deal.
I like you, Connor, but this is a different gear.
Yeah.
They fake it to Stewart in the end around and flip it. Look out, a convoy. London calling touchdown, Michigan State. What a call. And what a drive. And the big house is stunned at the moment. It's right in front of the very small section of folks in green and white, that touchdown. First touchdown drive foul with a fumble recovery was short. That was an 83-yard march in 9 plays. The underdogs from East Lansing go up 11 midway second quarter.
Now, Michigan State breaking tendencies. They had Stewart going in motion. Looked like they might hand off to him on a jet sweep. Michigan out of position. You can see the linemen pulling. They don't have anybody to block. Jarvis and Brian Allen, and finally at the end, but a great call by Dan Warner.
Michigan State stretches the lead here. Brian Lewerke on the drive was 5 for 5 for 72 yards and the touchdown completion to London, his first career touchdown catch. You said it perfectly, Kirk. They are coming in here swinging and landing. Impressive drive. And Michigan has thrown the ball on each of its last 7 offensive plays. Now it's up down 11. Thomas comes up at the 5. And tries to escape, does so on the far sideline. And has to be driven out of bounds across the 35. And they throw it to the edge. And this is Perry, who is stopped after a 9-yard gain inbounds by Willis.
Inbounds and just short of the first down. You mentioned the 9 yards, so that's where O'Korn, all his preparation as that backup quarterback, now being the starter, that's where this pays off for him.
Spartans showing pressure. They bring it, and O'Korn spun down and hit behind the line for the 3rd time. That's Joe Bocci, your guy in the blitz.
Yep, Bocci comes clean. They move him around this way. Nobody picks him up. That's the last thing that O'Korn should do. Every quarterback from middle school all the way up knows that in this situation, you have no timeouts. You cannot take a sack. Look at the clock just ticking down.
3rd and 12. O'Korn looking to escape, fires over the middle, and it's caught. Catch made by McCune, the tight end. Now he loses the ball. It comes out, and the Spartans recover it. So after the long completion, it's a turnover. Just 2nd of the night for the Wolverines.
Great effort by McCune to try to pick up yards, but as he's doing that, Justin Lane sneaks in from behind and knocks the ball away. It's a heck of an effort, by the way, by O'Korn, finding him, delivering it. Watch as McCune, there's 2 right there. Bang, he knocks the ball loose. And Michigan State jumps on top of it with David Dow. But the effort to not give up by Justin Lane gives Sparty their 2nd turnover here in the first half.
You're talking about a corner was moved from wide receiver a year ago. He's played a terrific first half.
Absolutely. All over the field.
So turnover is crucial for Michigan. It really switched momentum. The fumble by Isaac in the first quarter, and that removing what would have been a very likely 3 points because they were well within Nordine's field goal range. Instead, Michigan State, as D'Antonio promised, would come in swinging as the underdog. A couple of touchdowns in the first half, a couple of takeaways, and the Spartans, who will get the football to begin the second half, lead by 11 in front of a stunned Big House. Michigan limited to 155 total yards in the first half. The BMW halftime report is coming up. Michigan State charges to the locker room, up by 11. Back after these messages. Got 2 plot lines here in the Big House. One, an upset brewing as O'Korn and the Wolverines find themselves down by 11. The other, a storm brewing. Chris Fowler back with Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor on the sidelines, which could be wet within about a half hour. The rain is headed this direction, the possibility of lightning. So the Spartans will get the ball to begin the second half up 11, liking their position at the moment.
Yeah, and I think if you're Jim Harbaugh, you walk into that locker room, and let's face it, Michigan State was able to control things up front. Michigan got a little bit flat. Atmosphere got a little bit flat. I'm sure he's rattling a few cages trying to say it doesn't really matter at this point what the calls are. It's more about an attitude. It's a rivalry game. Where's the fight? You got to get in the trenches and start taking control. Their defense gets a chance to come out here first. They got to try to set the tone here early.
Yeah, very impressive from Brian Lewerke and a Spartans team that we told you is inexperienced. Only 12 guys in the travel squad tonight have played in the Big House before. It's their first road game of the season. Think about how they played in this environment in the first 30 minutes, given those circumstances.
Great point. Played very, very well. Still have 30 minutes of football to go.
And that's, I'm sure, what D'Antonio was telling his team at the break. Andrew Welch, the wide receiver, back in the end zone. Received the kickoff from James Polk. And the lefty boots it high. And to the 3. Welch. Very little room to run. A couple of flags come down as he is strung out and dropped at the 11. But this figures to really back up Michigan State now in their first possession of the third quarter.
Yeah, it looked like a hold there by Michigan State.
Our Pacific Life game summary takes a look at the touchdowns created in the first half by Lewerke. The first was a scramble as he dives into the end zone, shows the wheels, and then the beautifully constructed touchdown pass to London with those big guys out in front.
Yeah, great call here by Dave Warner, but I think that scramble set the tone to let that Michigan defense know that they had to deal with that, and then the 2 turnovers. Bocci on that first one, ripped it out of there. Chris Fry jumped on top of it. And what a great effort by Justin Lane to knock that ball out before Dow jumped on top of it.
Yeah, that denied Michigan a chance at likely 3 points before the break. So backed up the 7 after the penalty. London gets nothing on first down, and a wind is just picking up and swirling in this big stadium. It's a factor both quarterbacks can have to deal with in the second half.
Oh, yeah. Right now it's at the back of the Michigan offense, or the Michigan team. Once they get the ball, they'll have that wind to work with.
You can see the line at the top of the goalpost, and you got trash whipping around the field. And that storm, as we said, approaching perhaps within a half hour.
Right in front of the student section, loudest part of this stadium.
Lewerke flips it. Some soft coverage and a completion over there to Stewart, who was knocked down. It'll be third down. That radar map we've been showing you throughout the evening, it's getting closer, Kirk, to Ann Arbor. that is ominous looking. That wall, that north-south wall, thunderstorm.
Saying now about 10:20, it should arrive here in Ann Arbor.
A half hour away. Meanwhile, the Spartans with some noise and a 3rd and 5 to deal with. It's 1 of 5 tonight on 3rd. Lewerke does have some time now, retreats and rolls into his end zone. Chaston just throws it away. Knocked down by Gary after he got it away, but a 3 and out.
Yeah, Michigan rushed 3 and still got pressure. And again, we continue to see Gary left alone instead of doubling him or using a tight end to chip. And to me, you don't have to come up with a sack. Just to be able to chase him out of there, make him throw the ball away on a 3rd down, just as big, and they get the 3 and out and get the ball back to their offense in O'Korn.
So Hartbarker punting into the wind, the tricky conditions for the freshman returner, Peoples-Jones, who's standing about midfield. One step, boots it low. Peoples-Jones at the 41. Makes one cut, and Michigan will take over at the 33-yard line. So John O'Korn talked about his struggles in the first half, but he's an experienced veteran guy. Kirk, what's the advice that he's got from the coaches?
Jim Harbaugh and his offensive staff make some adjustments at halftime, trying to find ways to be able to get O'Korn and this offense going. Again, just 10 of 20, 112 yards. They have great field position, but do you want to be ultra conservative? Do you want to just run the ball and have those short intermediate throws? Or do you want to maybe take some chances and take advantage of O'Korn's athletic ability and try to get him outside and maybe try to throw the ball downfield?
Isaac motions out. O'Korn is flushed again. Shows that athletic ability. Now just flips a short pass complete. And it's Khalid Hill, making the catch and getting down inside the 15.
He looked deep to Crawford to his left. Watch his head looking left. He was about to unload it, but good coverage by Scott. And this is again what O'Korn can do. Risky pass, but he finds the big fella in front of Willis for the first down. Soft hands for 265 pounds.
18-yard gain. Isaac has to bounce it quick. Penetration by the Spartans line. Lewerke. Andrew Dow makes another play.
Yeah, Lewerke, what a heck of a play. Remember, this is a former walk-on against Mason Cole. This battle right here. Watch him get separation, use his hands, and push Cole back. That kind of set the edge there. Then he ends up making the tackle. That is a big-time play by Lewerke. 6'4", 245-pound, former walk-on, playing defensive end and playing with an attitude.
Just a guy who's a hard worker, a tough guy, built for this kind of rivalry game. Showing up tonight.
It's Mason Cole, left tackle, 4-year starter for Michigan. He just pushed him in the backfield.
They fake it to Higdon. Strike across the middle. Touchdown, Grant Perry. Wolverines find the end zone for the first time. An 18-yard touchdown pass. Let's make sure that Perry got in before he fell down, backing up, and goes down there. The ball could make a case is just short of the plane.
The runner's knee was down short of the goal line. It'll be 1st and goal at the 1-foot line. The clock will start on the ready for play.
It wasn't his knee that was down, but we get the point. It's not a touchdown. It'll be 1st and goal.
It was not his knee. You are correct.
He's disappointed, but the Wolverines with a couple of 18-yard pass plays in this drive, making good use of the field position.
And you talked when they got that great field position, how they might attack. We talked about maybe instead of those shorter passes that we've seen most of the night, maybe go downfield, maybe take a couple shots, and now they find themselves all the way down inside the 1-yard line.
This is Harbaugh. This is Michigan. They're at the half-yard line. Here comes the beef. Expect a lot of muscle in this formation. I'd say at least 2 or 3 tight ends.
If you include Hill, you got 4.
It's Higdon behind Hill. And Hill, as O'Korn stumbles, hands off to him, muscles down, no signal. Yes, he's in. Touchdown for the big fella. It wasn't pretty at all, but it does produce the first touchdown for the Wolverines.
O'Korn, lucky he just got rid of the football. He got stepped on by the center. Kugler got pushed back. He got the ball off to Hill, and Hill just kept those legs churning and ends up in the end zone.
You'd ask for the short yardage specialist. 9th career touchdown. 9 of the 11 he's scored are 1-yard plunges, and that was a plunge. He had to earn it, but Michigan driving 33 yards after the punt and the return. Nordine knocks it through, and suddenly it's a 4-point game. Here's what you talked about, the center.
Yeah, the center gets pushed back into the backfield. But a good job not giving up. O'Korn just gets it to Hill, and look at that leg drive.
How's it feel for a foot of a quarterback, right? When you get stepped on?
Yeah, well, it doesn't hurt at all as long as you're able to do that. Get the ball to the man.
Okay.
And let the big fella do the work.
Harbaugh's team using field position, a charged up defense, got him the ball to 33. The short touchdown drive cuts the lead to 4 as the rain begins to fall in Ann Arbor. And the spot line of a storm is getting closer. There's a flag down on the kickoff as Welch takes a knee. So 1st and 15. Lewerke shovel pass, a safe play inside, but into heavy traffic, and that's Sokol again. And the rain picking up, swirling around inside this big place.
You know, you have a 14-10 lead. What did we talk about Michigan State did in that first half? They're on the road in the big house with a young team. Would you ease in? Would you come out swinging? The reason they built a lead is Dave Warner, as a play caller, and Mark D'Antonio as a head coach, said, hey, let's not be timid. Now you have a lead. Now you have weather. How do you approach the game with that lead? Do you now get a little bit more conservative? Because that'll play into the hands of the Michigan defense.
On 2nd and 12, Lewerke flips it high off the hands of Sokol and then almost caught on the carom by Stewart. But it's 3rd and 12.
Before it went to Stewart, David Long said, I'll take that. I mean, it went through Sokol's hands, David Long's hands, and then almost to Stewart. Might be that kind of second half. Off to tight end, off to DB, and almost to the outside to Stewart.
You get a feeling that some wackiness is going to happen here before this comes time.
Oh boy, this is what Michigan wants right here. 3rd and long, and he's in empty, which means what? Get the ball out of your hands immediately.
Wolverines rush 4. Lewerke's running all the way, trying to make a man miss. Does escape and fights, but does not get first down yardage. David Long, the corner, corralled him 2 yards short of the marker, and here comes a punt.
And they get a nice, safe call, backed up in their own territory, and again, the athletic ability by Lewerke almost is able to fight for that first down, but Michigan keeps him short with a tackle there by David Long. Went empty to try to spread the Michigan defense out, and then try to find a little bit of wiggle room in the middle.
Spartans only had 7 3-and-outs on offense coming in against lesser competition. 5 tonight, and now all 3 third-quarter possessions are 3-and-out. Peoples-Jones received the low Hart Barger punt. fields it at the 20 and is going to be dropped for a short loss. So John O'Korn and the Wolverines back to work, down only 4 with the Storm getting closer.
Michigan State's offense yet to have a first down in the second half.
Chris Evans. And Joe Bocci, middle linebacker, plugging the hole. You see, when you have a guy playing that position on defense, you have to be a leader. You have to call the signals. And as a true sophomore, he played less than 100 snaps last year. Able to step in and improve in the offseason and just show his natural leadership.
Think about all the years that the Michigan State's been playing defense, how many great middle linebackers they've had. In the Mark D'Antonio era, Max Bulla, Riley Bulla, the baton has been handed down to Joe Bocci.
Byron Bulla, the younger brother, is backing up Bocci at that linebacker position. O'Korn, nobody open, and he's going to be dropped again. And Lewerke's got him as we check in with Maria.
We saw Khalid Hill. He had to be helped off the field, but he's had his left ankle re-taped. He's got his helmet back on. Trainers are saying they will see if he can go back in this series.
Well, it's 3rd down and long, final 40 seconds of the 3rd quarter.
John O'Korn's going to look back. He hasn't played a lot of football since going back to his freshman year. But one of the things he's going to have to improve on, with Wilton Spade out for a number of weeks, is being patient in the pocket. He's an athletic guy. He looks at the primary, and then instead of waiting and finding that second or third option, he's bailing. He's getting out and scrambling when he doesn't need to. There's no pressure.
Got to hurry here. Backpedals, flips it on his screen. Catch is made to McCune, and the tight end bangs forward, gets a first down across the 25. It's a big play for the Wolverines. Figures to be the final play of this 3rd quarter.
Tight end, when he picks up speed, bring the blitz off to the left. Nobody there. Perfectly timed by O'Korn. Now he picks up that momentum. He's running over guys.
He really is emerging. Only had 5 catches in the first 3 games combined. Then he had 5 catches against Purdue. Very involved in the win over the Boilermakers.
Yeah, he and both Zach Gentry and he both had a big game against Purdue.
Let's see if they snap it for the quarter here. 2-1. Just get it away. And O'Korn, with the wind at his back, loops it downfield to Crawford. Incomplete. Very well defended along that Michigan sideline by the freshman Scott. And that downfield shot ends the 3rd quarter. 15 minutes to play for the Paul Bunyan Trophy and bragging rights in the state. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Spirited sing-along here as we get set for the final quarter in the Big House. Michigan has been an excellent 4th quarter team. Have not allowed a point. Outscored opponents 43-0 in the 4th quarter. And the rain getting heavier by the minute. Ron Higdon is the back. He's got a small crease. Got to be careful with that wet football knocked down at the 34.
What better way to have this game than to have this kind of weather in the 4th quarter to help decide the outcome?
Look, we're in the booth.
Yeah, well, but I mean, it's a rivalry game, and you're in the Big Ten. It's great. The only thing we need is a natural surface with some mud.
Are you loving this if you're an offensive player right now?
No, not at all.
Empty backfield. Higdon is set out wide to the left. O'Korn fumbles the snap. Scrambling, looking to throw it. Flag down. Intercepted. Intercepted by Bocci at the 41.
Holding. Offense number 76. Penalties decline. Result of the play is an interception. 1st and 10.
A bad start with the fumbled shotgun snap and a disastrous finish. A 4th Michigan turnover.
O'Korn wanted to get the ball thrown out quickly. Watch his eyes. He starts to look out there before he's able to hold on to the ball. He had Perry on a quick out, and he tried to get the ball out quick to Perry. Then he just starts to improvise. Almost shot puts the ball there, Chris. Watch how he wants to get the ball. He peeks up, doesn't secure the ball because he's trying to get it out there so quickly. And with a wet ball in these conditions, you just can't do that. And there's our guy Bocci again coming up with a big play.
He didn't have the laces.
No, he shot put it.
Yeah,
he just heaved it.
Michigan State running 4 in the play clock. Takes over Wolverine territory. Lewerke keeps it. Bangs ahead for 9. 4 straight 3-and-outs for this offense, but that's given him a spark.
And they get great field position. They really haven't shown this. Watch the center, Allen pulling around the left guard, also Higbee. But right there, lowering the shoulder, a big hit by Devin Bush. The willingness was the quote from the coaches. Yeah, he can run, Lewerke, but he has a willingness to do it, which they really love, and he showed it right there. Devin Bush, one of the hardest hitting linebackers in the Big Ten.
Gerald Holmes on 2nd and 2. Hit, driving, doesn't get first down yardage in the first time, but then able to break free from the tackle of Winovich and fight near the marker.
Winovich making plays. You think of him as a pass rush specialist, but making plays against the run on that second short. Matt Allen was actually in on that play for his older brother, Brian Allen.
And Brian has come back in. Snap the ball.
That's big with the weather. Good to have a backup center come into the game. It's good to see Brian Allen back.
Option look. Lewerke hit hard. Does not get the yardage. And flying in there was McCray. And Ryan Monet the tackle. It's 4th and 2.
A great job at timing up the blitz by Devin Bush. Watch him. He shoots right into the middle. And now you get McCray coming over to be able to make that play. The young freshman, Kevin Jarvis, trying to get up there. But the instincts and the fact that McCray didn't hesitate makes the play, brings up 4th down.
And they're going for it. You don't even think about attempting a field goal in these conditions. Fumbled snap. Doesn't matter who's got the football. The 4th down play fails. And the weather playing a huge part in every snap of the game right now.
Never really had it. Maurice Hurst shot through the gap between the center and the left guard. But I don't think Lewerke ever had his hand yet. The ball just slipped right through. And there's Hurst coming in to finish the deal.
Heavy stuff has arrived. You enjoyed drama here? This is like something out of a Hollywood set, Kirk, where you crank up the wind machine. Look at Kevin up there in the top right corner of the stadium. A salute to our crew who've been putting up with this.
Yeah, whole crew.
This is
look at
wild.
this. It just like 5, 10, 15 minutes, just hard rain.
O'Corn on play action flips it, and it's dropped. Once again, wet football, Khalid Hill, who was back in the game, couldn't collect it.
And again, it's not easy to make catches. It's not easy to throw the ball. Corn frustrated because he got hit after he threw that by Demetrius Cooper. He got leveled. Referees trying to do the best they can to keep the ball dry.
How mindful as a play caller do you have to be? These guys trying to execute something. Evans with a 2nd down carry, but those linebackers just flying downhill, knocking down.
Yep. Bocce leading the way there. All 3 of these linebackers have played incredibly well. They're very busy. Actually moving in Tyreek Thompson, 17, a sophomore out of Detroit's out there playing right now for Chris Fry, who went out. He's back out now, back on the field.
Spartans sub out 4 guys on this 3rd down package. Wolverines need 9. O'Corn from the pocket delivers, and it's intercepted again. It's a 5th takeaway, the 2nd. It's Dowell again, the 2nd interception, and a 5th takeaway of the Spartans defense. They only had 4 all season coming in.
And Michigan State just rushes 3. Drop 8. Here's a D lineman. He drops, so you get 3 rushers. And look in the back end of the Michigan State defense. He's going to try to make a throw right here. And Dow, who has his eyes on the ball, an easy interception once it sails over the top of Bunning. O'Corn not taking care of the ball, just kind of puts that one up there and hopes on 3rd down.
As a frustrating sequence, he thought he was rough, and then chasing down, he gets shoved into the Spartans bench, and that's more rudeness. And then he falls down again as he tries to get out. It is a rivalry game. Michigan State, the previous 4 takeaways, Kirk, only been able to produce 7 points off those turnovers. That had a first down so far after halftime. End around. Stewart has a little crease, and he sprints for about 7.
You know, what Stewart brings to the table is 6'2", 210 pounds out of Houston, is tailback skills. And a jet sweep with him is dangerous. He's not just a speed guy. He gets his hands on the ball and he gets around the edge. He's got vision and explosiveness that makes you think of a tailback, even though he is a wide receiver. And that's where that's surprised they're not trying to get out on the perimeter a little bit more with that run game. He's dangerous out there.
London.
That's
nothing. Let's take another look at the end of that last interception when O'Corn was able to draw the 15-yard penalty. It's not on that.
No. But there was a little push there. But that right there, I don't know.
Did somebody grab him from behind?
What, the trainer? The girl trainer there?
He was yanked backwards. Unless he tripped. Wow. You're giving that like a soccer play where you take a dive? Oh, you can't really see for sure what happened there.
I guess one of the trainers grabbed him from behind.
3rd and 3. Shovel pass. And nothing doing. Connor Hayward, his first touch of the night, and the true freshman doesn't get yardage.
Rashawn Gary having a heck of a night, just playing inspired football, especially in this second half, all over the field, rushing the quarterback, defending the run. Worth every bit of the hype that he received. 6'5", 281.
And that is a heck of a job by Big Hurst and those guys, and Gary up front. Still no first downs, and still Michigan State having trouble converting, cashing in all these takeaways. Hartbarger collects it. Peoples-Jones lets it bounce in front of him, and that's a play that's going to bounce into the end zone. They could not corral it. So Michigan at the touchback will take over. 9:41 to play on a stormy night in the Big House. So Michigan back to work down 4, and John O'Corn, who had a couple of nice completions on Michigan's touchdown drive early in the 3rd quarter, has thrown back-to-back picks. That's 3 possessions.
See how well he can put that behind him and move forward.
Harbaugh's 2+ years seems to have never had 5 turnovers before. Higdon skates free. Nice gain. 12 yards. Here's the quarterback comparison. Our Pacific Life game summary. Lewerke had the touchdown throw and run in the first half. Nothing doing in the second half.
No, not at all. All those numbers, majority of them in that first half. And so that was a really good run that time. They picked up a couple crack blocks by wide receivers and gave the linemen room to pull around.
O'Corn flips it across the middle, and there's a catch made in heavy traffic by McCune. He'll be 4 yards short. 3rd down coming up.
Well, he's been a good target these last couple games. Purdue, and then again tonight, is only going to get better as a sophomore. It is a 3rd down. Michigan State rotating some fresh bodies in.
Conditions are getting better for the offense now. The wind has died down. The rain not falling nearly as heavily. This is a weighty play in this game. Perry comes in motion.
That's their 3rd down guy.
Handoff. And swarmed in the backfield. Evans dropped for a loss, and the Wolverines will have to punt.
Wow, really surprised by this call by the Michigan offense. Watch Michigan State not caught off guard. I think they were trying to catch them getting upfield to rush the passer and slide right through that. But the discipline and awareness of that Michigan State defense, they're not fooled at all. And the clock continues to tick down.
Robbins boots it away. Stewart just lets it bounce. Those scrappy guys, we talked about them all night. Willikis, Panashuk, just workmanlike, blue-collar Michigan State type defensive lineman, and huge on that stop.
Keep in mind, Michigan State does not have a first down in the entire second half. Michigan thinking one more time, 3 and out, get that football back and get good field position. They'll have one last chance to try to get points.
And it's a first down handoff, and Holmes just plows forward. They shoved the pile for about 4.
We kind of bragged on them and how they showed up in the big house as an underdog, taking some swings and playing to win, not just playing to hold on, but once they built their lead and once the weather came in, it's been a very different approach from Michigan State. It's almost a 4-corner offense where they're just working the clock and trying to hold on for dear life.
Have not had a first down since London's 50-yard run at the 3:40 mark of the second quarter. And Lewerke keeps it, and they move the sticks. So inside of 3 minutes now.
Yeah, not only do they obviously pick up their first down, but now it really becomes a challenge for Harbaugh and how he works his timeouts. He's going to have to start using them here in these next 3 plays. Michigan State, you would have to think, going to run the football and force Harbaugh into using those 3 timeouts. Not in any hurry at all. Should work that all the way down to 2 seconds, 1 second if you're Lewerke.
Snaps it at 3. And that's Holmes. That's a terrific first down game. That becomes a crucial play. 2nd and short now.
Yeah, Michigan has to use their timeout. At this point, it just becomes, if Michigan State gets a first down, the game is over. That's where we are at this point. Michigan's going to have to use their timeouts. And if they pick up a first down, they just won't have any way to stop the clock. Securing the football, another big thing for Michigan State here late in the game.
They don't have a turnover tonight. Holmes, not much. So after a nice first down gain, Hurst got in there.
Oh, yeah.
Another timeout spent. It'll be 3rd and 4.
And they use that, gives him 1 timeout. Like I said, if you pick up a first down, the game is over. Michigan has their back against the wall. They have to make a stop here on this 3rd down. What Don Brown's saying right now is we're shooting gaps. And this is our calling card. This is who we are. We're shooting gaps. Maurice Hurst, you're going to shoot a gap. You're going to make a play here. We're going to get them in the backfield. We're going to use our last timeout. We're going to get the ball back to O'Korn. We're going to go down here and win the game. That's what you have to be selling right now. And the big thing is Michigan State, you got to run the ball here. Even if you don't pick up the first down, make Michigan use that last timeout. Quarterback run here.
A whole bunch of tight ends shifting around to the right. Lewerke fumbles the snap. Chased. And knocked down right near the marker. They're going to spot it first down. After a disastrous beginning to the play.
Chris, he landed on top of his own player, the center, Brian Allen, and that's why you see that spot. He was short by about a yard, but he lands on Allen. Watch 65 get out in front of him. Great job of improvising instead of giving up on the play. See Allen right there? Lands on him. He's not down, and now he's down.
That's a great spot, Kurt, but look at there's another look at the spot. They'll review this, of course. Landing on Allen right there, not hitting the ground. Nope.
Still not down.
Across the marker.
Still not down.
You tell me that another quarterback keeper involving Michigan is going to come into play here, just like the Ohio State game. Now, just a minute 58. Michigan with 1 timeout.
It's a tough way for Michigan's defense. They had him stopped by about a yard, but
undoubtedly spend their final timeout after this first down play if they get the stop on the run. And it is Holmes slammed down for a 2-yard loss. Final timeout, minute 33.
To be honest, if Michigan State hands the ball off, I'd be shocked. And with the way Maurice Hurst is getting through and shooting gaps, why take the risk? If you're Lewerke, you just take a knee, start that clock.
You think about whatever's going to get you a clean snap. He just dropped that one. Antonio challenged his team. This is a very, very young football team. A lot of fresh faces, and they have battled very, very hard. Just final pieces of business. Handle the snap. Lewerke just rolls out. And he'll be knocked down. A flag comes in. That'll stop the clock.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why take a hit? I know he's a tough. Mark D'Antonio's not happy about that either.
Offense number 94. 10 yards from the spot of the
That's
foul.
how you can't run out the clock, a play like that.
I just don't think you need to overthink it. If you're going to roll him out, just slide.
And Harbaugh wanted to decline the penalty. He's saying decline it.
Yeah, he just
doesn't care about the yardage. He wants the down. Yeah.
Correction. The penalty would be declined. Third down. The clock will start on the snap.
That's why it's important, though, because it's like giving Michigan a timeout, that penalty. You decline it, but I mean, it's still a minute 26 to go now, and 3rd and 8. You don't get it, you're going to have to deal with a punt.
Right. That penalty is what really hurt.
Huge. I mean,
with the clock.
And that is the only thing that you didn't want to have happen.
Now they are going to have to punt the ball.
Lewerke rolls again, takes another hit, and is knocked down. 4th down, clock will run. And they'll have to snap it with about 40 seconds.
Oh my gosh. It's identical. It's just we're going the other way.
Well,
instead of going left to right, we're going right to left.
It was Harbaugh calling a timeout to get things set up a couple of years ago. Michigan's got a couple if they want to take one to talk about it.
This is crazy.
Colin Kafflish, the sophomore, is the long snapper. He's got the important job right now. Hartbarger to get it away, and Peoples-Jones standing at the 11. The snap is handled. The punt is away, and he just booms it. So he bounced out of the end zone. 34 seconds to play, and Michigan will take over 75 yards from the end zone.
At least they get a chance. Get an opportunity for John O'Corn. Anything can happen. 34 seconds, no timeouts. Thinking about first downs to stop that clock. Thinking about getting the ball out of bounds to stop the clock. O'Corn, who's not had a great night, 14 of 30 for 165 yards, the 3 interceptions. But he has a chance here. It's a rivalry game. You just never know what could happen.
He's got guys with deep speed like Peoples-Jones, Eddie McDoom. Perry can run. Kakoa Crawford, decent speed.
Michigan State's defensive backs, the secondary, especially the safeties, thinking about keeping everything in front of them.
Spartans rush 3. O'Corn steps up, delivers underneath. This is Higgin, who's got to get out of bounds. And he is knocked out across the 35. 27 seconds to play.
Late hit, 15 more yards. Added on top of that.
It was Chris Fry, and D'Antonio says,
that's a great call. Now, that's a great call. The one earlier when we were kind of talking about that.
After the play was over.
This is
personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 23.
What is Chris Fry thinking? A veteran right here just throws him to the ground. He's 10 yards out of bounds.
If he just lets him go, it's no flag.
Yeah.
This last act right here.
No, there's not a penalty. Right there, he pulls him down. He throws him to the ground.
The ball's at midfield. 27 seconds to go. Spartans showing some pressure, and they bring it. O'Corn flings it downfield. Got a man, dropped it. Oh my goodness, Eddie McDoom was inside the 30. 19 seconds left.
Oh, John O'Corn, boy, he gave everything he had here. Buys enough time, keeps his eyes downfield, and it just looked like Eddie McDoom started to look where the defense was instead of just making the catch. His eyes started to creep to his left to see where Dow was coming in to hit him, probably thinking about trying to either make a play or get out of bounds instead of just making that catch.
Michigan State back to rushing 3. O'Corn over the middle, low ball, caught. first down. The clock will stop. Now this late signal incomplete. The official came in from a long way away and said that Peoples-Jones did not make the catch. 13 seconds left.
Yeah, the ball was bouncing around. It looked like at the beginning when he first tried to get his hands underneath it, looked like he may have had a chance, but the ball started to bounce around afterwards. You'll see it just bounce out of there, and towards the end, yeah, watch it come loose. In fact, Michigan State players trying to grab it. Incomplete. Waved that off. Bocce's trying to get in there and knock that ball out.
Time for just a couple plays. Spartans dropping a whole bunch of defenders off the line of scrimmage. Just a three-man rush look.
That crossing route.
O'Corn flips it very short. Higdon just got to get out of bounds. Does get a first down. 5 seconds. Now they just got to take a shot at the end zone.
Yeah, that's what you wanted. In this case, it ends up being out of the backfield. It's the same principle. You needed about 15, maybe 20 yards. Now you've got a legitimate shot. This isn't a heave-ho from midfield. Now you're at the 37-yard line. You've got a shot here. Oh, my gosh. 2 years ago, and now this.
And Michigan turned the tables with a miraculous finish of their own, where the Spartans earn another upset in the great history of this rivalry.
Peoples-Jones has height at the top.
O'Corn rolling, launching for the end zone. In traffic. Incomplete. Game over. Michigan State wins it in the big house. Some of the Spartans sprinting around, hugging, others demanding the Paul Bunyan Trophy be produced on the Michigan sidelines.
Chris, guess who got up there and made a play on the ball? Joe Bocce.
That middle linebacker dropping way back in coverage.
That is an enormous win for Michigan State.
Maria Taylor will get the reaction from Mark D'Antonio as the Spartans await that 4-foot-tall Paul Bunyan statue. There it is. The trophy headed back to East Lansing. Maria?
Well, Chris, Coach just looked at me and said, wow, that was pretty awesome. How would you describe the way that your team was able to walk out of here?
We played hard and came to play. You know, Michigan got a great defense, but the 5 turnovers tough to overcome. You know, we got the 5 turnovers. We can't say enough about our defense, and we did it the hard way, man. Right down to the last second.
You said that your team was going to have to be road warriors, and you were going to see how they handled adversity. I mean, what did you learn about your squad tonight?
Yeah, we're a happy group. I'll tell you. Let me tell you something about the ride home. You will never have a bus ride like this one home. Never, ever. Sherm Lewis told me that a long time ago in 2008.
Okay, what's different about this bus ride home?
Hey, I'm just thrilled for our football team and thrilled for our fans. This is a great environment. It's a great football game, and I'm just excited.
All right, Coach, you get to take home the Paul Bunyan Trophy.
Go Green.
Said he turned this rivalry around after the little brother comments in 2008. He talked about the bus ride home after that victory, and now D'Antonio improves to 8-3 against Michigan.
And from that night, the comments from Mike Hart, 8-2. Yep. Incredible to think how this rivalry has flipped. And after a 3-9 year, to have this kind of win early in the year.
Paul Bunyan is wearing a Spartan helmet for that bus ride back to East Lansing as the underdogs come to the big house on a wet and wild night and take back this trophy with an upset. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Game produced by Bill Bunnell. Ford Wrap-Up Show coming up right now on ABC.